I recently started a series fixing 9 Game Boy Color boards. Let's see what I did with the first one that I could fix. For this modding video, I will use the board that I fixed on episode 1 of this series. I will leave a link in the description, and I will also put a card here in the corners if you want to see it. It's very interesting how to repair these little boards. So as you can see, we need to change both capacitors, the display and power capacitors. As I mentioned before, the display capacitor actually is not needed if you are going to install a OLED screen. We are also going to change the color of those wires on the speaker. So I will guide you through the whole process. I have some videos showing this in the past, but this video was requested by one of the viewers. For a small channel like this one, that means the world to me. So I'm gonna do a long video displaying how to do this transformation. For this, we're gonna use this clear high-speed Dido um, shell that I bought from AliExpress. This is the OLED screen. This is a whole kit that they sell along with the USB-C rechargeable battery. So let's go ahead and start this. We'll change the capacitors. I also have a video that I did before with an in-depth guide on how to select and how to replace the 3 capacitors and their functions on the Game Boy Color board. So go ahead and watch it. I will leave a small card on the top right corner of the video. So let's start by removing the old electrolyte capacitors. I also, like I mentioned, I have that video where I'll explain how to remove them safely without tearing apart the pads. It's just pretty much heating and pulling. You have to heat and wait till the solder melts and then move it to the side so it lifts from the board itself. Just like that, let it melt, let it cold, and then let's do that with the other side. Go back again to the first side, and that's it. We have removed the power capacitor. Let's clean a little bit the pads. And now let's go and let's remove the other capacitor. This is the display capacitor. If you're going to keep your original screen, you have to put a new capacitor to replace this. If you are using an OLED screen, this is not needed. If you're going to practice removing capacitors, I will always recommend going with this one, because if you're going to install, like I said, a Q5 or OLED screen, you don't need this capacitor. So if you mess something up, you are just fine. After you have some practice, you can go ahead and remove the other 2. Now let's clean the board. Let's clean the flux that I use. Give it a nice clean. If it looks good, now we have installed the 3 capacitors. This will make this board to last for many years to come. So now we're going to replace the wires on the speaker. I will use black insulated wire. I will leave a link in the description for all the materials that I use on my videos, my soldering station, my blue mat, my wires, my solder, my flux, everything. These, of course, are affiliated Amazon links. You will be supporting my channel if you buy your material and equipment from those links. So please consider supporting the channel by this. So after cutting the wires and removing the insulation for both sides on both wires, let's make sure they are very, very stick together. And now let's bring the speaker. Let's start by removing the wires just by grabbing them and melting the solder with the iron and then a little pull. Let's do the same thing with the other one and install the new ones. Put some flux, heat the solder, and put it in place. To measure my 2 new wires, I use the same length that the old ones already installed on the speaker have, so you can base yourself on that too. Heat it and put it. Don't put your iron too much time on the speaker because you can melt it. So now let's bring the board and locate the 2 tiny speaker vias. If you're looking at the board with the battery contacts, look facing to you. The vias will be on the top left on the bottom left corner, just like this. We will insert our wires through one of the vias. Move it carefully. Put it there, and you can see the wire going through the vias. So now let's bring the iron and some high quality solder. Heat and touch it with the solder. Now let's do the same thing with the other one. Looking good. Bring the iron, put some solder. I mentioned before in my videos, but this is high quality solder. It has flux on the inside, so it's not very necessary to add more flux. And just like that, we have installed our speaker with two black wires. I think it will look very cool. Now, for the next step, let's clean a little bit of our area of work. Put some paper towel to protect the screen. And let's bring our beautiful kit. You can find this on AliExpress. Just look for GBC OLED screen kit. The shell is already pre-cut. You can install both Q5 or OLED screens in these kind of shells. It comes with the buttons as well. We are not going to use this ones, maybe just the infrared plastic part. But the buttons, I will change them for a different color. We'll save this. And let's remove the USB-C 1500 mAh rechargeable battery. I don't like that red wire, but I mean, it indicates the positive terminal on the battery, so I don't see the point of swapping it to match the color scheme. Maybe I will in the future, but as of now, we're going to use that one. So this is the sticker. Let's put it to the side. It looks good already, right? I've never done a Game Boy like this. Normally I do all white or black and colored buttons. But anyways, let's bring the OLED screen. Same brand, High Speed Edo. It's my favorite so far. Let's bring it out of its secured packaging. This is the wire that comes with the kit to connect the OLED screen to the board. We're not going to use it. We're going to replace it with a black one as well. This is the screen with the board it has. So let's start by grabbing the screen carefully. I don't like to remove the sticker that protects it. I always leave it. Just remove this, peel this sticker on the back, the yellow one, and now we are able to put it into position, and it will paste itself to the shell. Leave this little transparent tab outside of the shell, just like that, so we can pull it later after we are done, and that way we will safely handle the screen. Let's push it into place so it sticks to the shell. And now let's flip it. We need to, that small wire that is right there, we need to put it on that slot that it has, and then bend it and wait till you hear a click. That means you have connected successfully. Now we need to solder our wire. This is the one that comes, like I said, with the kit. Look at how long it is. I will, of course, replace it with a black wire using the same ones that I use for the speaker. Let me bring it close. Cut it. And this is it. Let's peel the sides so we can solder it, expose the wire. This is how it's gonna look. You can see it's bigger. So you're gonna solder it to the bat label soldering spot next to the ribbon cable connector. Just like that, heat it a little bit and put the wire on top. And just like that, we have installed our wire. This is one of the tiny times that you need to use solder into this mod, you're doing just fine. Let's bring the insulation film that it comes with the kit. I like to cut it and put it like this. This will create a barrier that will avoid your new motherboard touching any component on the Game Boy Color board, avoiding shortcuts. So now it's a good time to bring our buttons. I will use a black star select button pad. And for my buttons, I will also use white. We will create this mix of the transparent shell with white buttons and another, black, probably that are infrared plastic part, and select and start buttons. I think it will create a nice blend and combination of colors. So I'm just cutting a little bit of excess of plastic on the 3D printing buttons. Once I'm happy with the result, I put it into position. Now let's place A and B. And now let's bring the rubber pads. We're gonna use black rubber pads to make it stand, the white, against the black. I think it's gonna look very cool. Let me know what you think in the comments, if I should have gone with the all white custom color, or maybe all black with the transparent shell, or if you like what I chose for this um, transformation. So now it's time to put the board into position. Let's put the speaker in place. Make sure that it fits the slot, the speaker slot. Move a little bit the wires to the top, just like that. I think that will be just fine. Now we need to solder our wire that we soldered to the screen to the power switch in the C labeled pin. Let me cut a little bit of the excess of wire. We don't need that much, just a little bit of the wires, just to avoid a short circuit in the future. Just like that, that's plenty. Something that I also forgot to tell before is that this board already had swapped the LED power indicator for a white one. So now we'll connect the ribbon cable. Make sure it goes all the way inside of the connector, and then you will have to push the two tiny plastic parts on the sides of the connector. Just like this. Then the other one all the way down. Perfect. Now it's in position. If for any reason your Game Boy Color doesn't display anything after you finish your modding, it's probably because you didn't connect the ribbon cable properly. So always go back and check that out. So like I mentioned before, we need to solder the wire here on C. So I'm gonna add some tiny bit of flux, tiny bit of extra solder, hold the wire, and then solder it into position. Remember, it's the power switch and it has a pin labeled C. That's why you don't need the capacitor if you messed it up, the display capacitor, because the OLED screen goes straight to the power switch. So now let's bring the screws that came with the kit. It's 3 Phillips screws that goes into the board. I'll do this very quick. I always like to push the board a little bit to make it go all the way down, and then put the screws. After that, let's put the infrared plastic piece, the power switch. I don't know if you guys like that I chose white for the power switch. Let me know in the comments. Now let's close it. It's looking very good. Come on. I think that's just fine. So now let's bring the 6 Y screws. Change the bit of my screwdriver. Put the screws, and let's do this very quick. I always like to turn 2-3 times to the left and then all the way to the right. Be gentle with this because this plastic is not as much as high quality as the original plastic for the Game Boy shells, so it's easy to mess the screws. So now let's bring the sticker. I want you to see it. This is the back sticker that comes with the kit. Looks very good actually, but I have this custom made transparent sticker that I think will look super cool. I know right now the background looks white, but it's transparent. I think it will look very, very cool, and it will blend very well with the style that we chose for this Game Boy. This will be available soon on my eBay store if you guys want to check it out. We have many products, and we will have more custom labels for games and for Game Boy Colors in general. Let's put it into position. Look how good that looks. I'm proud of this. Looks very, very good in my opinion. So far, so good. You are doing great. You are following this guy. Hopefully everything is clear. If you have any questions, you're always welcome to leave them on the comment section. So now let's bring out the contacts. This is USB rechargeable included battery, but we will test it very quick with AA batteries. Just like this. Bring the batteries. Snap them in position. And let's hear that song. Beautiful sound together. Looks very good. Do you like the buttons with the black rubber pads? I mean, this green module, I don't like it at all, but I think it's fine. Screen looks perfect. Let's peel this thing. Looks very, very nice. So now I want to show you the actual details on this, the white power button. I have also installed the USB-C battery. The red wire, like I mentioned before, I'm not very happy with it, but I mean, it's for labeling which is positive and negative terminals on the battery, so I'll leave it as it is. This was the label that was included with the kit. I think that will also look good, but I like the result with this one. The black wire that we use for connecting the screen to the board and for the speaker, those details I think that stand very much. Do you like the mix of white, black, and the clear shell? Please let me know in the comments. So now let's test the USB-C rechargeable battery. It works just fine. When it's fully charged, the LED will turn off. And of course, you can play while recharging the Game Boy, which I think is also very nice. You can recharge your Game Boy with a power bank if you're on the go, and you can still play while recharging the battery. So now let's test with a game, Pokemon Crystal, one of my favorite games of all time. Turn it on, first attempt, which is always great. Look at how crisp and good looking the screen is. The colors. I think this brings a new life to the Game Boy, honestly. So now to change the settings on the screen, we have to hold it. You have to be a little bit patient because these screens are just not that responsive. Let me turn off the light so you can see. The screen brightness go all the way to 10, which is very, very nice. I myself like it at 5, just halfway for the maximum brightness capacity. It also comes with filters or color mode. The one that comes on number 1, in my opinion, is the best. It's a struggle to scroll through the menu, in my opinion, but it is what it is. Let me get back to number 1. And pixel effect, so it looks a little bit more pixelated, just like the original Game Boy screen. Let me turn this back on so you can see through the pixels. Let me know if you can notice. Oh my god, it's a struggle. But you get the idea. Once you set it up, you don't need to change it again ever in your life. So let's scroll down a little bit. Frame rate and the logo color, very important. If I set it up to 1, it will be white, but you can change it. I think it's 32 different colors that you can put into the logo, which is also very cool. Oh, this one looks very cool with the Pokemon Crystal logo there. So let me put it back to white. I hope you guys enjoy this. For the person that requested this video, hope it works for you, it helps you. If not, if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment section. And as always, see you in the next one.